والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله أصحابه أجمعين. My dear respected young Muslims, not the group, young Muslims. Do you know about the young Muslims? Grandparents, uncles, aunts. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. The brother just gave me the title of this session, so can someone tell me the title of this session? Someone who is in Mina, brother or sister, what's the title of this session? It's not a trick question.
Bollywood, have we
what?
rock bottom?
Other bit. I didn't know who was speaking. I just saw Goofy moving.
Bollywood, have we hit rock bottom?
Okay, have we hit rock bottom? And thank God, Muhammad Qureshi, the infamous moderator, is a moderate Muslim. We have to go through the whole list of Toronto Muslims to find moderate Muslims for these roles. So it's hard, you know, being a moderate Muslim. He said that we're not going to talk about Bollywood, which is a relief because I have not seen a Bollywood movie in God knows how long. But we are going to talk about it. Inshallah, I think that in approaching a topic like this, it's imperative that the reference be the Quran and the Sunnah and not my opinion or your opinion. And so if I don't root it in that sense, it becomes basically, as the Arabs say, like kalam al-fadi, like just basically speech for the sake of speech. It's not worth anything. So to begin with, I want to remind us, and towards the end of this talk, I'll explain to you that the interaction according to Islam, Quran and the Sunnah, is basically the ideals that we say can be summarized as P, P, L. Remember these three letters, so in case I forget them towards the end, they are what?
P, L.
Oh, that was good group participation. Only one person apparently had lunch. So it's P, P, L. Okay, so keep that in mind, inshallah. So first of all, we are taught and told in the Quran to observe our duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be conscious of Allah in all aspects of our public and our private lives. And this session particularly is about that inner voice. How many of you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself? You can admit it, it's okay. You're like, oh God, they're going to know I'm crazy. Right? Yeah. I talk to myself constantly. I just don't talk out loud to myself constantly. But I'm constantly talking, look down, oh my God, this, right? It's intoxicating to be in front of people, and that shaitan is very powerful. Because he wants to tell you that it's okay. It's okay to get attention. It's okay to want attention. It's okay to be, the spot in the spotlight. And the Quran, and this when I talk about the PPL and the interaction, the Quran is very clear in how we are to exist. How we are to exist and walk through this life. What surah talks about lowering the gaze? G-A-Z-E, sorry, I'm in Canada now. G-A-Z-E. What surah talks about that? So we know the reference of where we begin. Preserving chastity, lowering one's gaze. What? There's 114, so let's go through it. What is it? Surah An-Nur, right? Surah An-Nur literally commands the believers. And this surah, subhanAllah, in the Quran itself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very, very intentional in His speech. The Quran is the Kitab Allah, the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's very intentional in His speech. When He talks to all of mankind, He says, Ya ayyuhan nas. When He talks to all of the believers, He says, Ya ayyuhal ladina. Okay, when I stop, you participate. Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, right? So in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have easily said, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, right? Lower your gaze, right? Talking about everyone doing it. No. But if you refer back to the surah in particular, it says, say to the believing men to lower their gaze and be chaste. That is pure for them. Allah indeed is aware of what they do. And then tell the believing women to lower their gaze. كل المؤمنات يغضضن من أبصارهن. That the Arabs say غض البصر, like lower your gaze. That is now Allah saying specifically to the men, specifically to the women. Each of you both must lower your gaze. And then He goes on to say specifically for the women, and be chaste, and basically to tell them not to display of their adornment, display only of that which is apparent, and to cover their bosoms with their head cover and not to reveal their adornment. And it goes on and on to really define with whom you can interact freely, in a relaxed manner, and with whom you cannot. Your husband, yes. Your children, yes. Your sons and your husband's sons. Why? Because there could be a case where someone marries, divorces, has children, and now comes into a new relationship. Every aspect, the comprehensive nature of Islam is such that everything has been defined, and that which is doubtful we are asked to refrain and stay away from. And so we begin this whole discussion by referring you, inshallah, to those verses, because so much can be said about that verse. The Mufassirin, the people who have studied the Quran and who give tafsir of these verses, have said, subhanallah, that the glance, the look, is the door. It's literally the door, the opening to the heart, such that a person's glance leaves in their minds an image. The person's glance leaves in their mind an image. Like that, boom, just one glance. Leaves an image of that which is maybe inclines their heart towards that image. And you start to think, so what are you talking about, man? A glance can't do that. A glance cannot possibly do that. And I say to you, think about this. How many of you have credit cards or bank cards? Especially if your parents are here, you don't want them to know, don't raise your hand. But how many of you have credit cards or bank cards? Right? You're used to the swiping machines, right? Or where you insert the card. Have you done that? You've inserted the card and pulled it out, and the machine instantly identifies you. That's technology. Supercomputing at its best. Telling you the number, the expiration date, matching it, confirming your identity, saying, welcome, Altaf Hussein, please spend more, right? It's doing all of that in like this. In like this, it's a glance. It's a glance, it's a fleeting glance, a passing glance. And yet so much of an impression is made. Technology proves that to us. But we forget that a glance can be dangerous, and it can even help you avoid danger if it basically is used in an effective way. When you cross the street, what do? You glance, right? You glance to look at the cars coming, right? You glance, you look, you say the road is clear, you keep moving. You don't go, wait a minute, is that a Toyota? Right? It's heading right at you at like 70 or whatever, 80 kilometers, right? Kilometers per hour, and you're like, oh, it's a Toyota. My dad had a similar color. Man, phew, those tires, those rims are, man, that car is hopping. I think it's even playing in the sheets. Let me listen in. Do you do that? That danger is so imminent. That glance is your road to safety. You look and you get out of the way. You say, oh my God, this car is coming. Its image is in my head. I know a physical object is approaching at such and such speed. You calculate that and you say, I better get out of the way. And yet, that similar processing doesn't take place, subhanAllah, when we are standing there and looking, taking a glance at the opposite gender. Subhanallah. And yesterday, Brother Rami, may Allah protect him and guide him, and I'm sure people are troubled by what he said about lowering the gaze, but this is what's going to happen, is that the scholars are going to remind us, and we become so desensitized and comfortable in our ways, that we will obviously be offended and be distracted from the point of following the Quran and the Sunnah. So this first glance, this first look in Islamic teaching is allowed. It's allowed because it's practical. Islam is a practical religion. If it said lower your gaze continuously, everybody's going to be walking into each other. You're going to have like a madhouse, right? You couldn't look anywhere, and it would be an impractical religion. But the practicality of it is that look. And that first look is yours.